When working with metal-clad RMC cable, proper grounding is crucial for safety and code compliance. The methods differ slightly depending on whether you're dealing with a general circuit or an isolated ground circuit. Let's explore the correct procedures for each. First, for general circuits, which are non-isolated ground circuits, the recommended approach involves splicing and tailing the ground wire. This ensures that both the device and the metal box are adequately grounded. The steps are as follows. 1. Strip the outer jacket of the MC cable at both ends to expose the wires inside. 2. Splice the ground wire to a short length of solid bare copper wire, typically number 14 American wire gauge or larger. This creates a pigtail that allows you to connect to multiple points. 3. Leave enough tail on the spliced ground wire to connect both to the equipment grounding terminal and the metal box. Proper length is key for ease of installation and secure connections. Once you've prepared the ground wire, you need to ground the device. This involves connecting the spliced ground wire to the equipment grounding terminal of the device. This terminal is usually a green screw or a marked grounding point on devices like receptacles or switches. Ensuring a tight and secure connection is paramount for safety. Next, ground the metal box. This is achieved by firstly drilling a hole in a metal box large enough for the ground wire to fit through. Ensure the hole is smooth to prevent any damage to the wire insulation. Secondly, connect the tail of the spliced ground wire to the metal box using a ground screw or an approved grounding clamp. The choice between a ground screw and a clamp depends on the box type and the specific requirements of the installation. Moving on to isolated ground, or IG circuits, the grounding procedure differs to minimize electrical noise and interference in sensitive equipment. These circuits often use MC cable with 2 ground wires to provide separate grounding paths. Firstly, strip the outer jacket of the MC cable with 2 grounds. This will expose the 2 separate ground wires. Secondly, separate the 2 ground wires, keeping them isolated from each other to maintain the integrity of the isolated ground system. Now, ground the equipment by connecting one of the ground wires to the equipment grounding terminal of the device. This wire serves as a dedicated ground for the sensitive equipment. Then ground the metal box. This is done by firstly drilling a hole in the metal box large enough for the other ground wire to fit through. Again, ensure the hole is smooth and free of sharp edges. Secondly, connect the other ground wire to the metal box using a ground screw or an approved grounding clamp. This ground wire provides a separate path for grounding the enclosure. Finally, bond the equipment to the metal box. If the equipment is not already bonded to the metal box through a grounding screw or clamp, you'll need to use a bonding jumper to connect the equipment grounding terminal to the metal box. This ensures that the equipment and the enclosure are at the same potential, enhancing safety and reducing the risk of electrical shock. This bonding jumper can be a green wire or a ground strap, depending on the specific installation requirements. When carrying out these grounding procedures, it's essential to consult relevant sections of the National Electrical Code, or NEC, for compliance. Article 250.130 is one to keep in mind, which covers the grounding of equipment. NEC Article 250.4a2 addresses isolated ground circuits, providing specific guidelines for their installation and grounding. NEC Article 250.118a deals with the bonding of equipment to metal enclosures, outlining the requirements for ensuring electrical continuity and safety. Here are some additional points to consider. Always use appropriate tools for stripping the MC cable jacket and making connections. This ensures clean, secure connections and reduces the risk of damaging the wires. Use the correct size ground wire for the application. Number 14 American wire gauge is commonly used, but larger sizes may be required depending on the circuit amperage and the length of the run. Ensure that all connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause resistance, heat, and potentially hazardous conditions. When using grounding screws or clamps, make sure they are properly tightened to provide a reliable electrical connection. Inspect the ground wires and connections regularly for any signs of damage or corrosion. Replace any damaged components immediately to maintain the integrity of the grounding system. If you are unsure about any aspect of the grounding procedure, consult with a qualified electrician. Improper grounding can have serious consequences, including electrical shock, fire hazards, and equipment damage. Always work with the power off when performing electrical work. This is a fundamental safety precaution that can prevent accidents and injuries. Use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized before you begin working. Consider using antioxidant compounds on aluminum connections to prevent corrosion and ensure a long-lasting, reliable connection. Be aware of local electrical codes and regulations which may have specific requirements for grounding MC cable in your area. Following these guidelines and consulting the NEC will help ensure that you ground MC cable correctly, promoting electrical safety and code compliance in your installations. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to err on the side of caution. If you're not comfortable performing the work yourself, hire a qualified electrician to do it for you. Staying safe and informed is the key to successful and safe electrical installations. The information provided is for general guidance only and does not constitute professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or refer to the latest edition of the National Electrical Code for specific requirements and recommendations related to your project. The NEC is updated regularly, so it is important to stay current with the latest changes and amendments. Proper grounding is not only essential for safety, but also for the proper functioning of electrical equipment and systems. A well-grounded system can help to reduce electrical noise, prevent voltage fluctuations, and protect against surges and other electrical disturbances. By following the correct grounding procedures, you can ensure that your electrical system operates safely and reliably for years to come. In addition to the steps outlined earlier, it is also important to consider the type of metal box you are using. Metal boxes are typically made of steel or aluminum, and each material has its own unique grounding requirements. Steel boxes are generally easier to ground, as they provide a good electrical connection with grounding screws and clamps. Aluminum boxes, on the other hand, may require special grounding hardware to ensure a reliable connection. When working with aluminum boxes, it is important to use grounding screws and clamps that are specifically designed for use with aluminum. These hardware items are typically made of aluminum or are coated with a special material to prevent corrosion and ensure a good electrical connection. Another important consideration is the type of MC cable you are using. MC cable is available in a variety of different configurations, including with and without an insulated ground wire. If you are using MC cable without an insulated ground wire, you will need to use a grounding bushing to connect the metal sheath of the cable to the metal box. A grounding bushing is a special fitting that is designed to provide a low impedance path for ground fault current. When a ground fault occurs, the current will flow through the grounding bushing and back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and energizing the circuit. This helps to protect against electrical shock and fire hazards. It is also important to ensure that the grounding system is properly tested after installation. This can be done using a ground impedance tester, which measures the resistance of the grounding system. The resistance should be low enough to allow fault current to flow quickly and safely back to the source. If the resistance is too high, it may indicate a problem with the grounding system that needs to be corrected. Regular maintenance of the grounding system is also important. This includes inspecting the ground wires, connections, and hardware for any signs of damage or corrosion. Any damaged components should be replaced immediately to maintain the integrity of the grounding system. It is also important to ensure that the grounding system is not overloaded. This can happen if too many circuits are connected to the same grounding electrode. If the grounding system is overloaded, it may not be able to handle a ground fault current, which could result in electrical shock or fire hazards. To prevent overloading the grounding system, it is important to distribute the circuits evenly among multiple grounding electrodes. This will help to ensure that the grounding system has enough capacity to handle any potential ground fault currents. Finally, it is important to remember that grounding is just one part of a comprehensive electrical safety program. Other important components of an electrical safety program include proper wiring practices, the use of ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, and regular electrical inspections. By following these practices and taking the necessary precautions, you can help to ensure the safety of yourself and others from electrical hazards. Remember to consult with a qualified electrician or refer to the latest edition of the National Electrical Code for specific requirements and recommendations related to your project. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is always best to err on the side of caution.